Hey everybody, we're back with a brand new Cabral concept. Appreciate you joining me here today. We're going to be going over the benefits of omega-9 fatty acids. So I'm sure you've heard by now all the benefits of omega-3s. If not, I'm happy to link those up for you here today. You can just simply see the show notes below. And I'm positive that you've heard a lot about the negatives of omega-6s, like hydrogenated and processed seed oils and the like, right? So we know that those aren't good. We know that those are inflammatory, but many people have not heard about the potential benefits of omega-9s and honestly how easy it is to get them without any nutritional supplements as well. So let's go over that today. If you've never heard about omega-9s, the benefits of especially of omega-9s, what I want to do is share with you how they can be very powerful as a natural anti-inflammatory. They can be great for the heart, good for the brain, and believe it or not, are even being shown to be potentially cancer preventative. Now, why this is important, and we have to understand this, is that different fatty acids work in different ways in the body. So for example, if you take in too many omega-6s, like we need omega-6s, we really do. But if you take in too many, especially from an inflammatory form of, let's say, arachidonic acid, they can actually create inflammatory cytokines, leukotrienes, prostaglandins. And when these are created in the body, what do we feel? Well, we feel more brain fog. We feel more fatigue. We don't have as great a recovery after our workouts or exercise. Our body feels more stiff. Our joints ache to a greater degree. We start to get things like headaches or maybe even migraines or skin rashes or all sorts of things attributed to inflammation. And we always say, well, I need to reduce my inflammation. So then you start using things like ginger or turmeric. And again, those are amazing. And I actually think there's huge benefits and huge anti-aging benefits to them. But don't use those to reduce the inflammation that you might be getting from, let's say, too high an omega-6 intake, right? So omega-6s, a lot from processed foods or non-grass-fed meats, non-pastured chicken, non-pastured eggs, non-wild fish. Those types of things have very high levels of omega-6s. And same with a lot of seed-based oils as well. So how do you then get all of the benefits for the brain, for the heart, right? And we think about that. Okay, let's just think about the heart for one moment. Okay, the heart is the biggest factor with early mortality. It still is cardiovascular disease. And a lot of that has to do with the overall vascular system of the body as well, which can then lead to stroke and high blood pressure, right? And we know that one of the biggest complications of type 2 diabetes is also the heart. And so we have to keep going back to what is good for the heart is good for our overall longevity. Omega-6s aren't, omega-3s are. But also, could omega-9s be helpful too? And the answer is yes. And one of the reasons is this, that I'm going to give you this in a moment, but one of the most predominant sources of omega-9s out there also contains something called oleic acid. And oleic acid is a very powerful antioxidant that in and of itself has been shown to be powerful against cancer cells. At least right now we know in a laboratory, meaning like the oleic acid seems to be able to puncture the actual cancer cell membrane to be able to help break it down. So again, extremely powerful. And we've seen it be helpful in things like diabetes. So it could be helpful in things such as weight management. And a lot of this has to do with not just calories in, calories out. I try to talk about that, but a healthy body. A healthy body has a healthy metabolism. It has a healthy appetite. It's able to burn the proper amount of calories, not slow down overall metabolic rate. So that's why antioxidants, and again, from nature, is a very powerful way to improve our overall health. And the easiest way, in my opinion, to get more oleic acid, and the predominance of that is, or I should say the predominance of omega-9 from this, is from an everyday item called olive oil, right? You've probably heard of olive oil. Now, it's important to get the right type of olive oil. So all you want to look for is a cold pressed, first pressed, if you can, early harvest, but I know we're kind of pushing it maybe a little bit too far, organic in a small dark jar. Why a small one? Well, just a size that you're going to use within a couple weeks. You don't want the massive olive oil that every time you take the cap off, you're allowing more oxygen in, you're allowing it a little bit more to be oxidized, but you just don't want the massive, discount bottles. You want a good bottle of olive oil. Think of it as a really good quality nutritional supplement, because it is. Instead of getting your omega-3s, now you're getting your omega-9s, but you're using it as a healthy fat in your diet. And about 55% to maybe a little bit more of the omega-9s from olive oil is coming from oleic acid, that very powerful antioxidant that I spoke about before. Here's the other amazing thing. Olive oil contains omega-3s and omega-6s, but predominantly omega-9s. And this now is the easiest way. You don't need to supplement with omega-9s. You can supplement with your omega-3s, but not your omega-9s. Because you're going to get this from simply taking in 2 to 3 tablespoons a day of a good quality, early harvest, cold pressed, first pressed organic olive oil. Now, honestly, it's that easy. You can find like a good quality bottle of olive oil is somewhere from like $12 to $25. It's not inexpensive, but it's going to come out to be, if I had to guess, maybe like $1 a day. I'd say, is that about right? Yeah, because it's going to last you a couple weeks. I'd say it's about $1 a day. And so you kind of looking at that as like a good supplement. It might not even be. It might be like 50 cents to $1 a day for a good organic one. The higher the polyphenol count, even better. I'm always talking about olive oil on my Instagram and on social media, but you can find it there. But if overall heart health, brain, potential cancer, even weight management isn't enough for you, the benefits of omega-9s have also been shown to be clear for the skin, for the hair, the overall improved mood and mental health. And part of that is because your tissues in your body aren't reliant just on omega-3s or omega-6s, and they are important, don't get me wrong, but they need a good quality omega-9 as well. So when you look at the health and beauty aspect, the beauty aspect would be the more lustrous hair. Again, you can even put olive oil on your skin or in your hair. Like it works that well. And so it's not a heavy olive oil. It's not a heavy oil, I should say, maybe like a coconut oil, which is a little bit more greasy. It's actually fairly thin. It's going to be a little bit thicker in terms of viscosity than an argan oil, certainly than a jojoba oil, but it still can be used on the skin. It can be used in the hair, and of course, internally, just by that 2 to 3 tablespoons per day. Now, let's say that you don't love olive oil, doesn't agree with you, you don't want to use oils in general. Well, first I would say we bake basically the predominance of our veggies. Sometimes we steam them, but they're pretty much always baked. And then what we do is we don't bake them in any oil. We add the olive oil afterwards, 2 to 3 tablespoons, to get the healthy fat on top of things like broccoli, the veggies. And we use that as a dressing, maybe with a little sea salt, rather than baking it in. And why that's important as well is because if you're adding more afterwards too, you're getting double the amount of fat. And you just may not need that many calories, because too much of a good thing is not a good thing. And the other thing is this, is that anytime you're exposing in oil, no matter what oil it is, to a heat, it does start to break down. I've got a separate podcast on what oils break down the fastest, but it's my recommendation, as long as you're okay with it, to simply add your oil afterwards. Easier way to do it, very simple, and it's a great clean way, less oxidation. Okay, a couple other ways to get omega-9s should you not love olive oil. Avocados, that's basically my second favorite way of getting those omega-9s in. So all you need to do, add a half of an avocado at 1 or 2 meals per day, just like you would your olive oil. So why a half? Well, it really just depends on your calories, like how many grams of fat are you looking to take in. And so half an avocado sliced up or even smashed, into your veggies, however you want to do it, can be absolutely delicious. A great way to get some omega-9s. Almonds, cashews. I'm not a huge advocate of promoting peanuts, but peanuts certainly can have omega-9s. My favorite personally is macadamia nuts. Macadamia nuts, great for people with more of the histamine issues, great for people with more of the lectin-based issues, and they're a great source of omega-9s. They're also a great source of monounsaturated fats, so I love that, and that's why I'm a bigger proponent of them. And then there are sesame seeds, can be a really nice way, a really nice way to get in your omega-9s. All right. Last couple hazelnuts and cashews. If you're someone that likes to do some nut butters, or you like to put that on your, I don't know, your morning sourdough, however you do it, that might be one that you look at, or maybe in your smoothie. For the most part, I'm saying to people, two healthiest ways, high in omega-9s, and an easy way to get more monounsaturated fats, part of that Mediterranean-based diet, is to get your olive oil. 2 tablespoons for most people, maybe 3 for others, depending on the fat content. There's about 120 calories per tablespoon of olive oil or fat in general, or avocado. Now, avocado you can obviously get as an oil, but you can eat avocado, and that's a really nice way to do it as well. So olive oil, avocado, my top 2 choices. Then after that, some of the nuts and seeds that I just spoke about. Easy way to get your omega-9s every single day and get some of those health benefits for the brain, for the body, for the beauty as well. Thanks, everybody. Hopefully this was helpful. Do feel free to share the show with anyone you believe it could serve. For all the show notes, head on over to stephencabral.com/2952. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.